Yes. Yes, I remember this world is a dream. And yet I and I were lost inside of this dream. We have forgotten ourselves wearing this dream costume, this mask. We have forgotten many of the I and I's are on a mission. They're seeking pleasures of the world. They're seeking bliss, seeking altered state of consciousness. This is what the I am on the mission, on the quest, seeking. The mind is delusional and is tricking you into going to seek these things instead of seeking the answer to your existential question. You unface yourself. You want to numb yourself and seek bliss, an altered state of consciousness. This is the problem. You're on a false quest. The quest that you are on, it's leading you to the illusionary path. This is one of the biggest illusions in the world because we must remember that this world is a dream. This world this world is a dream. So you must remember this because this world is a dream. The I and I must be vigilant while the eye is in the dream. Who sent you on the mission? Who sent you on this mission to seek bliss, to seek altered state of consciousness? And so you have many spiritualists, spiritual gurus out there now. They're misleading ones because we have the blind following the blind. This is what's happening. And no one is really questioning things because they are on a quest seeking altered state of consciousness. Who told you to seek that? Why are you on the quest to find bliss? Someone told you that. So they have these ayahuasca ceremony, cannabis ceremony, magic mushroom ceremonies, sucking on poison frog ceremonies, cacao ceremonies. I mean, there's so many things that they're out there looking for, seeking to find these things, you know? They are seeking all of these things. And so I want to share with the eye that seeking these things is not going to get you because, the false narrative that they have been spreading, these propagandas that you get to be your real self, you get to yourself. It's all false and it's all a lie. Um, so when I was traveling through Mexico, I was in Tulum. I came upon a place. They have a Buddha statue out the front and natural things, advertising and all of this. So I decided I was going to go in there to see if I could do some healing sound vibrations. I went there. The guy says they do um magic mushrooms and some frog things, and there was another thing I can't remember what it was. There was something else that they were doing, some other psychedelic something. I just can't recall right now because I am really not familiar with all of the things that the INIs are taking right now, because that I want to numb and I want to seek delusion and seek these dream experiences and not want to face the truth of this existence. And so you're never going to have conscious awareness of yourself. You're just going to be dissolved and never. This is the best time to ever be in existence right now, to be in this body, that you will have this, you can choose to have this conscious awareness of yourself. You have only been experiencing the duality, all of the illusion, the dream characters. And now, finally, you can have this conscious awareness of yourself, your transformation happening within. But you cannot have this experience if you are taking psychedelics. You cannot have this experience if you are doing ayahuasca ceremony. You cannot have this experience if you are taking drugs, cannabis, and all of these things. Yes, some of these things are medicine that you that can help with ones for healing, but that's not what it's being used for. It is being used for people abusing things, just like how any other drugs it become a drug where you're dependent on it and you are just using it to escape whatever it is that you want to escape, or seeking altered state of consciousness. Because what's happening is that the body becomes impure and the spirit the get agitated, and the soul cannot stay in the body. Know this truth. Whenever you take drugs, whenever you take any psychedelics, your soul cannot stay in your body. Your soul leaves your body, and you also freak your mind out. This is why you're having those experiences, and so you are traumatizing yourself and you don't know it. But the ego likes these things. The gods, them, all the dualities, they like these things because they can hop into your body and do a lot of crazy things and do body hopping around. And so it is just not the balance or the right way. If you want to have an experience of yourself, you must be yourself, which means that you have to be your real self. You cannot be in this ego false self and doing all these things that pleasures for the mind. Many ones are saying, "Oh, this has helped me. I was schizophrenic. I was this. I was that." Yes, some of it is medicine that can be helpful, but that's not what it's being used for. And in the first place, the reason why many ones are schizophrenic, and all of these, you're not getting to the root of the problem, which is the mind. The mind is at the root of the problem. That your mind is sick, and when you take these psychedelics, and it just makes your mind worse. And especially now that they have all these drugs on the market that's making people go even crazier, you have to be so careful. What are those little pills that they're lacing everything with now? That you cannot trust the ones them that you are entrusting to give you these things, because the minds of everyone is crazy, and they're seeking just money, and they're just doing a lot of cruel things to others. You know, they're just doing cruel things to others. And why? Why would someone find pleasure in seeing you skid over and foaming from your mouth and all of these things? You know, even in some of those retreat places where people are going to do these microdoses, there's lots of things that are happening to ones there, but no, you're not hearing about it. And ones are going missing because they can travel from, wherever they travel from, to go to these places and, you know do these things. And many of them, their mind get worse, their situation get worse. So my recommendation is to not do any of these things. If you're having a lot of mental issues, I say you seek your real self, because you have the ability to heal yourself if you have your real self. If you seek your soul has the power to help you, and to balance the mind when the teacher rises from within. But this is how you can help yourself and how you can heal yourself. If you do this, you don't have to take drugs, you don't have to do all those things. But the problem, when you have a sickness with the mind and you have fallen into a bad habit, of course, then it becomes very, very hard to resist the temptation, to resist these bad habits, you know? So, this is why you try in the first place to not get into these bad habits, because when you get into the habit of it, it's hard to quit. It's hard for many ones, and in the spiritual business, all of those spiritual teachers, a lot of them are promoting the these things, because what, it's a big money maker. It's a big money maker. And everyone wants to go to the Amazon. They want to go to all of these South American countries, because people have been doing ayahuasca, sucking on poison frogs, and now the next big one is magic mushrooms and other things, that people are taking. And again, it's all a way trying to escape, not want to see things as they are. And if you want the truth, then you have to go within yourself, merge yourself without any drugs. You cannot take any drugs, no cannabis, no smoking weed, um, and all these things. This is the way. This is the one true way to go. Because when you make alignment with yourself and be yourself, which is the soul, instead of seeking those things, why not just seek yourself, your real self? You are in the ego false self, the dream character. Seek your real self. Merge and be unified as one self. This is what the aching and the yearning that you feel is for. You are aching and yearning for yourself, which you have put into prison. When you take these psychedelics and things and drugs, your soul cannot stay in the body. This is when any of the gods will come and take it from you, because they love to do body hopping. They hop from one body to the other, snatching your soul and playing these games with you. And you love those feelings that you get from them. And so you become addicted to it and you put yourself in danger. And so I say, resist these temptations so that the I can anchor the I self. So while I was um, traveling around in Mexico, it's all it. I mean, it's amazing how ones can just make a always one's always finding something to worship. So the right now the cacao ceremonies is a big thing, and everyone is promoting cacao ceremony. And instead of always seeking one's existential truth and to liberate oneself from this ego false self, one's always looking for something to worship and something to you know praises to. And so while I was there, I had one organization that had invited me to do some sound healing, some healing sound vibration. So while I was there, they were doing they invited me to do the healing sound vibration before they were going to do the Tamascal. And so one lady, she was going to do the cacao ceremony. So I wasn't exactly certain what was a cacao ceremony, um, because the way they were advertising and making this seems like some psychedelic something. And she was the way she was talking about the cacao. I mean, she was speaking in Spanish. I didn't really understand, all that she was saying. And so one other was translating some things. And so here, once the mind is always busy wanting to find something to an alternative, something to worship instead of seeking the I truth. And she was literally, I mean, worshiping the cacao. The cacao is this, and you hold the cup to your heart, and all of this elaborate thing about the cacao, cacao. She was going on and on and on about the cacao. So I asked what was inside of the cacao. So she said they just boil the cacao and I think they added a little bit of sugar just so it wouldn't be too bitter, but it wasn't a lot of sugar. And I said, "What else do you add to it?" She says, "Nothing." So she offered me some of the cacao, and I tasted it. Um, and so, because growing, being cultivated in Jamaica, this was how we would drink the cacao. You you would beat it in the mortar, you sun dry it, beat it in the mortar, grate it, and you know, make a little molds of it to preserve so you can drink it later and grate it when you want it. And then they would just boil it, put coconut milk in it, and sweeten it, and you drink it, right? And because just like certain food, it might relaxes the body, it have certain properties to heal the body. But the way they were going on about the cacao, giving reverence, and I understand giving reverence to the food and all of this, but it was something else. So when it was time now, she would to go into the Tamascal, because I wanted to experience what she was doing in the Tamascal. And because I have had done the Tamascal a couple of times, and I liked the experience. I thought it was a great experience for many ones for detoxing, the sweating out of impurities of the body. So there's a lots of cleanse that is good for the body. And so um she went into the Tamascal, and then she was doing a second version of the cacao. So I refused that, and I said, um, I was gonna have some water. So she told me that I could not drink the water inside of there. They're only doing the cacao ceremony in there, and I cannot drink water. So this is how messed up the mind is, because it was very steaming in the air. Many ones are sweating. Cacao is not the perfect thing for that, like some coconut water. So, anyways, she says, "No, you cannot come in here with the water. You cannot drink the water in here." I said, "Why not?" Because of this is a cacao ceremony, and only a cacao, and you can't drink water. So it 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 goes to show me, the mental state of ones when they get into these rituals and these things, how the mind can trick you and confuse you. And but because I was there to observe and to see what was happening, I said, okay, no problem. I will i will exit, because I just wanted to see, what she was doing. I wanted to observe what she was doing. So I was able to see the first part of what she was doing, and I tell her that no, I wasn't interested in going back to observe for the second thing. It was very long. So one of the couple of things that I observed about how they do the Tamascal, they made it. It was very long, and it was like the ego likes to traumatize the self, put the self through pain and suffering, because for some reason they think that going through pain and suffering is the only way for one to. I have no idea how they the story they tell for all of this pain and suffering. I do not like pain, and I do not like suffering. um and so I learned a couple things, because once we're coming out of the Tamascal, and I see why so many ones were afraid of the Tamascal. It was too hot, and it was too long. And so you had to condition your mind to endure it, because someone would come out. And I remember one of the Tamascal I went to, the lady would come back, because it was like the moon dancing sisters, and she was like telling them they have to get go back in. You know, it's like you have to endure this. Was the thing. And so, anyways, while I was there, I was also training someone's and showing at them that you don't have to do the Tamaska like this. Um, this is the way that how you can do the Tamaskal for a new birth for once, to make it balance. Um, so that was one of the reasons why I wanted to just observe more of how ones were doing the Tamaskal. So, but anyways, I am sharing this story to say that the mind will always get one's obsessing about something else instead of the self. Because here, everyone was obsessing about the cacao. You think that no, they made a god out of the cacao. This is what the mind always does. It finds something to make a god out of. And now they were worshiping the cacao. And I was sitting there observing and watching, and I was like, wow. Here, look how the mind have made them now make a god and worship out of this cacao. And so right now in Mexico, cacao ceremonies are big. They are doing cacao ceremonies and, big worshiping of the cacao. When it's a distraction from the I self, so I am just saying this to share that the mind will get you involved in, could be anything, that you will become a slave to it instead of seeking the truth, your liberation from this dream, to wake yourself up from sleeping. And so the many of this that particular place, they wasn't doing the ayahuasca ceremony and the psychedelic things. Their thing was the cacao ceremony. So they had to make it so they could get others to come. So now they're worshiping the cacao, and the way the lady was just going on and on, the cacao, the cacao, the cacao. You would think that the cacao is the soul. And I was sharing with her, like that's all that's an illusion, the illusion of the mind, you know, a distraction when the I need to seek the I existential truth, to seek and put all of those attention into liberating the I self, to wake up from this dream, not wanting stuff to keep you immersed and trance, you know. The word I'm looking for. Just keep you blinded into the dream. And so I know that many ones are, especially now that there's so much confusion in the world, many ones are just comatosing themselves with drugs, and it's a big problem, And I am saying that you have been told wrongly. They have been spreading lies and propagandas because everybody wants money and they want prestige. And that place I had went to in Tulum, and the guy was like, "Oh, we don't need no teachers here. The medicine is the teacher." So and it leads us to ourself. And I said, "But how can something outside of you, a poison, lead you to yourself? You think that it is yourself that you are experiencing when you take these poison? No, it is not yourself." I said, you have to, only the purity inside of this body, that you seeking, wanting to know truth, is going to lead you to yourself. But taking some psychedelic and some poison will not lead you to yourself. You will experiencing this euphoric because you are seeking bliss and higher state of consciousness. The consciousness is the dream. So the consciousness, you can go and now merge yourself into the consciousness energy. And the consciousness can give you blissful feeling. But this is just a dream. This is not yourself. You think the consciousness is yourself? Any levels of this dream is you? No. You can only experience the real when you are the real. You experience the dream things and the dream characters when you are the dream. When you become the real, you know that you cannot take these things because it is dangerous to the self to do this. So, anyways, thank the I and I for joining I. You can let me know how your experience have been, because I know many ones are saying, you know, the, the psychedelic, the ayahuasca, and all those things have helped them. Because they was having so much mental things, and it has helped them. I'm not denying your experience. I am saying that if you want to know truth, if you want to be your real self, this is not the way to go. Yourself can help you. Your real self can help you to balance your mind and to bring purity back to you if you anchor yourself, give up this ego false self, and be your real self. So that's what I am saying. I am not denying your experience. Many ones, more than having good experience, have many bad experiences. All right. So, but I am saying that that's a pleasure. Yes, it's a good experience, a pleasure experience that you're having with the consciousness and all the consciousness beings and all the things outside of you. But if you want to connect to your real self, then this is not the way to do. You don't need that. You need to connect to your soul and be yourself. Because when you do this, the soul leaves the body. It's not in the body with you anymore. Alrighty, so you just have to remember that this world is a dream and everything that you're experiencing is of the dream. If you want to experience the real, then you must be the real.